Hi, I'm Amanda Hammerly, the Executive Director of the International Association of Insurance Professionals. I'd like to welcome you to today's Meet the Candidates webinar. Thank you for joining us. If you have never joined one of our calls before, we are so glad that you're here. But before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items and announcements. You will be on mute throughout the presentation. You can hear us, but we cannot hear you. If you would like to ask a question, please submit your question using the Q&A section of the control panel of your screen. We will review the questions at the end of the interview. Please note for this webinar, we will not accept questions using the chat box function, so please use the Q&A feature. We are recording this session and it will be made available within 2 days on IAIP's YouTube channel. So please help me welcome Vickie Harmon, IAIP President-elect, and our two candidates, Sue Quimby and Rachel Schubert. Thank you both for joining us today.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Amanda stated, I will be hosting today's Meet the Candidates. I am so excited to be present today and to get to know Sue Quimby and Rachel Schubert, our two candidates for the Office of International Secretary. I have had the pleasure of serving on the board and committees with both of our candidates, and like all of you, would love to know more about their experiences, what motivates them, and why they wish to be a leader of our association. Each of these candidates are seeking our support, not just for a year, but are devoted to 4 years on the executive committee. This is your opportunity to meet and get to know the future executive member of your association. I'll kick this off with a few questions that I hope will bring understanding and knowledge of our candidates. I encourage each of you to ask questions. As Amanda said, you can submit that through the Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen. We will start with an introduction of Sue Quimby. Sue is currently the Senior Vice President for MSO Incorporated. In addition to her J job, Sue also is very active with IAIP, serving as the co-chair of the Education Task Force, serving on the Marketing and Publications Task Force. She's also on the Convention Task Force, overseeing continuing education credits offered, and leads a mastermind group. Sue joined IIP 35 years ago and since then has held several leadership positions with IIP, serving as Region 1 RVP in the 2019 to 2021 term, and as a Regional Education Director, Council Director, International Marketing and Publications Task Force Chair for several years. In her free time, when she's not doing all those other things, Sue works on her 250 plus acre farm in New Hampshire with her husband, where she walks her dog, Bree. Sue is an avid reader and a music fan. Next, I would like to introduce you to Rachel Schubert. Rachel works for Auto Owners Insurance Company as a field premium auditor and has been a member of IAIP since 2007. She has served as RVP for Region 3 and is currently serving on the Sponsorship and Partnership Task Force and the Foundation Nominating Committee. In years past, she's held several positions with IIP, including local president, regional marketing director, international committee positions, and has a passion for young new professionals. In her free time, Rachel enjoys spending time with her family, traveling, and going to the beach. Now that both of you have been properly introduced, I would like to lay out today's process. Today, I will be asking the candidates the questions and will alternate between the two of them. I will also ask the questions that our audience shares via the Q&A section in the webinar. The questions, unless directed to one candidate, will be for both. So question 1 is for both of you. If you would, please tell us a fun fact about yourself that wasn't covered in your bio, and why did you decide to run for international secretary? Rachel, if you will start us off.
My fun fact about myself is that I don't have a middle name. I just have an initial. It goes, I have the same initialing as my father does. So it's the letter B. So fun fact, if you're playing the game at Region 3, you might need to remember that fun fact about me. And then why did I And why am I deciding to run for international secretary? As Vickie stated, I have a passion for young professionals in this industry. When I started 17 years ago, I was very young and I knew nothing about NAIW or IAP. And I wasn't really involved when I started first in Florida, but then I moved around and moved to Missouri and was lucky to get into a really good group there with IAP who took me under their wing. I have a wonderful mentor there, and it's the mentorship, the camaraderie, and it's a lifelong friendship that IAP has provided to me. And it's a natural progression. When I was an assistant for an RVP, and then I became an RVP, and I've done the other leadership positions, and this is just next naturally for me. And I really want to see this organization grow, and I have a passion for IAP, so that is why I'm running for international secretary.
Fabulous. And Sue, your turn.
Okay, a fun fact about me that can be repeated is that I'm a descendant of John Adams and John Quincy Adams. And why did I run for IAIP secretary? I've been in awe of this association for ever since I started. I got introduced to IAIP in a difficult time during my life. Somebody asked me to be a model for a fashion show. That was back when I was young and skinny. And from there on, I remember going to my first regional conference and looking at all these people on the stage and saying, I could never do that. No way. I don't have that personality. Well, fast forward 30 years and here I am. I've been an RVP. I've been a council director. I've gotten way out of my comfort zone to become a leader and to help the association. I think, my resume speaks for itself. I do have been very active in the association. I'm very happy with the progress we're making. And I just want to make sure that we continue that progress for the next generation, for all the new members and the existing members, to keep this association going because it is such a valuable asset.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sue. So our next question is for you, Sue. What do you bring to the board of directors that is unique to you?
I think my ability to listen to both sides of an argument or a situation. I often will play a devil's advocate and pick the opposing topic or pick the opposing side just to draw out the real feelings and the real comments, because too often people just say, okay, we're all going to go with the flow. We're just going to agree because somebody else said it. I don't want to make waves. Well, if you know me, I am not afraid to make waves if I think it's important. And I think that's one of my good things. I can listen. I'm a very good listener, and I can also see other sides of view and help to come to a collaborative answer.
Thank you, Sue. So Rachel, how will your unique perspective help IIP achieve our goals?
My unique perspective, I guess, is what everyone classifies as. I'm younger. I started out very young in the industry. Now I'm over the YAP age, but we will not go into what age we are because everyone's young at heart. I am a younger generation with an old soul. So I like to have that personal connection with people. And someone described me as I've never met a stranger. So when I go to an event such as International Convention, I look to try to meet the people who are new or young. I know that, and I love to be involved with them. And that's my unique perspective, is a little younger perspective. Like Sue said, I also don't like to be like, well, that's how we've always done it, so we need to do it. So my perspective is we got to try it, and we might fail, but we learn from those mistakes. And that's my perspective, is just the younger perspective.
Thank you. Question 4, this is for both candidates. Do you have a specific goal you'd like to achieve during your time on the executive committee? Rachel, if you will start first.
I think everyone's goal in this organization is to keep us growing as an organization, to obtain and retain members. You got to keep members and obtain new and retired members, because without them, without members, this organization doesn't survive. And so I think it's really obtaining and retaining members. We're doing good on the technology standpoint as we got the LMS up and running. So just keeping education going, because that's what our industry needs, is education and technology, and then obtaining and retaining membership.
Thank you. Sue, same
Hi.
question. Do you have a specific goal you'd like to achieve during your time on the executive committee?
What she said. I agree with her. I mean, keeping members is so important. If you look at our demographics, we have about 1,200 members, and a large percentage of them are retired. So you can't just say, well, let's forget about the retired members, because that is our association. That's our history. There's so much value. But also, we need to be able to bring in and attract new members. I think we've done well with the corporate sponsorships and with teaching the classes with the corporations. I'd love to come up with some kind of tools to recruit new members, to help our current members recruit new members, and more importantly, to help our current members reach out to their companies, other organizations they're in, get our name out there so they can see the value and the important programs that we have to offer that nobody else offers, the education that we offer, the leadership and professional development. So I think that would be great to get us out there so people know who we are.
Thank you. Right. Question 5. This one's for you, Sue. What do you feel is IAIP's biggest strength?
Our people. We have an amazing, amazing group of women and men of all ages, of all areas of insurance, all areas of the country. I just love the fact that now that we can collaborate so much with video and Zoom and being able to meet people from other areas, because you have a different perspective when you meet people from, say, Hawaii or Puerto Rico or Maine. And it's great that we can work together, because I think that's how we're going to grow and proceed. If each member needs to feel like they matter, that they're being heard, that they're being recognized. We've all got our own superpowers, things that some of us are good at, other people aren't. The fact that we can work together, and I can find somebody who can do a spreadsheet for me, I'm happy. I'll write your article if you do my spreadsheet. And just collaboration and the working together and the fellowship and the support. And I'm sure Rachel feels the same, is that we've got people that support you. I mean, Rachel and I are friends. We're not fighting each other. We text each other all the time, but we work together, and we want to see this association grow. So I think the people is the biggest strength.
Excellent. So a very similar question, Rachel. What do you feel is IAIP's biggest opportunity?
Okay, well, that's a good question. Our biggest opportunity is making sure, like Sue said, I think it's the people, and reaching out to make sure that their company knows about us, and that their company or their network knows about us. Because all of us, even if we don't think like, oh, well, yeah, I work for XYZ insurance company, does that company know that you're involved with IAIP? Just at the casual mentioning and just letting it, you just have to keep telling them and letting them know what we're doing. And we're not what we were 20 years ago. We've changed, we've updated, we're getting relevant with the association. Our biggest opportunity is our education that we have. Sue has worked very hard on it. That's one of her passions, is education with IAIP. And so that's a wonderful opportunity that we have. I love that it's an LMS. I mean, I was on at midnight one night taking one of the classes, because it's when you can take it on your demand to get it done with. And so I love, that's a wonderful opportunity, but it was made by our people. And so the opportunities are people and using their networks to grow our association.
Thank you. All right. Question 7 is for Sue. What do you feel is IAIP's biggest weakness?
Well, I think it goes along with what we've been saying. Lack of recognition in the industry. Nobody knows who we are. I still have people in my office can say, what is IAIP? What is IAIP? I've been a member and working in that office for 30 years. And of course, it used to be NAIW, but that's, I think, the big stumbling block, because people don't know who we are. They don't realize how valuable our programs are. As Rachel said, I'm very proud of the education we've done. We've updated all our programs. We've got the CLP program. We've got a new client relations program coming out. That client relation program could be ideal for all these companies who are losing their members, who are retiring, but hopefully staying a member of IAIP, but they're looking for all new people to staff their offices. And these kind of training programs would be ideal for them. The CLP program, the confidence while communicating, which is my favorite program, even though I can't speak very well most of the time. But these are all skills that employees need and employers need to know about.
Thank you. So, in case you haven't guessed it, Rachel, what do you feel is IIP's biggest threat? There was a little bit of theme here.
Getting the theme, our own self-doubt is what I would consider our biggest threat. Not trying something because we say we that's not the way we do it. That's our biggest threat is self-doubt and not trying something. Yes, we might fail, but we can learn from the failure of how we go, and we can learn from our successes. And so our biggest threat is just the self-doubt and saying, well, that's not going to work. Well, we have to try it before we can say it's going to work or not. So that's our biggest threat.
You. All right, back to a question for both of you. We'll start with Rachel. Aside from being a past RVP, what other experiences do you have that will help qualify you to lead IIP?
I have moved 9 times with the company. I started out as a very low person on the totem pole of commercial lines underwriting back in the day when we had to have one computer just to get on the internet, and that was it. So my experience is my loyalty to the company I work for, and I've moved up within it. I'm not a supervisor or manager, but I've been put in that position of reviewing work and everything like that. So it's just my experience with the company and moving around and being able to adapt to every situation. Like I said, 9 times is a big move as an employee.
Thank you, Rachel. All right, Sue, your thoughts?
Well, I have had a lot of leadership experiences in various organizations. I was a past president of my CPCU chapter. I was back in the day, I was actually the first female president of my condo association, because I'm a little older than Rachel. So when I started, we still had the green screens and had to input everything into the computer. So I had to learn all those things from the ground up. I'm the oldest of 5, so I've been a leader since I was 8 years old, having to corral people and tell them what to do and keep them in line. I think just my experiences in being out in marketing and being able to write a lot of articles and teaching helps me to be able to communicate with people and to listen to them and help to grow the association.
Fantastic. Let's see here. So take a look. Oh, go ahead, Miss Amanda.
Oh, I was going to say we're going to do the Q&A. Did you have something else you wanted to add?
No, I was going to move on to those, and I forgot that you were coming in for that.
Okay, so one of the questions we have here is, let me get that in front of me. It says, they say your personal brand is what is said about you when you're not in the room. What do you want others to think when they think of you? What is your personal brand? So, Sue, we'll start with you.
That I'm passionate and that I care, that I will go to all lengths to help somebody. I will to answer a question, to be there for them if they need somebody to talk to provide, to coach them if they're need to be trained, to be their cheerleader. I love technology now because I can text people any day, anytime, day or night, say, how are you doing? What's going on? How can I help you? What can I do for you? So I'm hoping that that's what people say, that I'm direct, I'm honest, I'm real, and that I care.
All right, Rachel.
Will say that I'm very passionate about whatever topic I'm trying to present. I might be a little loud. I am also very competitive, but I care and I have heart. I also my personal brand, I also like to check up on people, and I like to make sure that they're all good and just see how they're doing with everything. And I also like to communicate, whether it's via in person or text messages or social media. I can get a little excessive on the social media posts, but it gets our way through. But I'm just passionate, and I'm certainly passionate about IAIP.
All right, we have another question here in the Q&A, and also we do encourage you, pop a question into the Q&A if you didn't hear a topic covered today. So here's one for you. Reduced membership continues to be a huge issue for IAIP. What are your thoughts on how to gain and retain members? Who would like to go first?
I can take that one first.
Okay, go ahead, Rachel.
As I've done in my write-ups for applying for this, obtaining and retaining members is a big thing that we need to work on as an association. I think the personal connection is how we're going to obtain and retain members. I love that I give the example that when I was in Kentucky, I got to meet some really nice brand new people straight to the association, and it was really fun to get to know them in and outside of the organization. And so I think it's just that personal connection is how we're going to obtain and retain members. I love to have our retired members because I like to go to them for their honesty and their wisdom. And so it might not be what you want to hear, but they'll tell you, and so I like just that personal connection and being open to pick up a phone, an email, a text to anyone in our association is what I think really helps us get to know our members more and obtain them.
All right, Sue, your thoughts.
I think we've done a great start with our corporate partners and our corporate sponsors and people that have taken the classes, but how do we keep them after they take the class and say, okay, I'm done, I don't have to be a member anymore? I would love to find a way to encourage them, to bring them in, to let them know the value of IAIP membership. It's not just, oh, you can get this designation or you can get these classes. It's everything that's involved with IAIP. And also for the existing members, reminding them, and they say, especially if they don't have employer support. Okay, well, let's really look at the cost of this. What is the cost of a membership, and how much of it is a value to you? What are the things in your life that you're spending a lot more money on aren't as valuable to you as your IAIP membership? But we have to remind people. And as Rachel says, I'm all very big on personal connections as well, and just reaching out to people individually, because they don't all read their emails. They don't read the blogs. They don't read the blasts. Sometimes not everybody's on Facebook. If you look at the online community, there's 15 of us that are on there all the time, and you get a few other stragglers most of the time. So we need to figure out better ways to connect with people and have them connect with us.
All right, the next question was submitted specifically for Sue. This person says, you posted today you were just promoted to SRVP, Senior VP. Do you see this new responsibility impacting your time and commitment to IAIP?
Absolutely not. I actually was in a position where I was ready to retire if they were not going to support my membership and my activities in IAIP, because I'm luckily in that position where I could do that. My boss is very supportive of IAIP. For those of you that don't know, we're filing our school to be licensed in 50 states, and we're filing the CE classes for IAIP nationally. So my boss is very, very much supportive. If you know me, you probably would think that how could I possibly spend any more time than I already do on IAIP? So the new responsibilities, it's more of a title change. It's not really a big responsibility, because we're a small shop. So we're doing everything now as it is. So, but I was happy to be promoted and get a raise and a bonus. So I'm not going to turn that down.
All right, the next question is for both of you. What are your thoughts on gaining more non-revenue dues? So Rachel, would you like to go first on this one?
Well, seeing that I'm on the sponsorship and partnership task force, non-revenue dues is a big thing. I know we rely heavily on the foundation for their support of our classes and our conventions and everything. I think once you get members in and you get their organizations, you get their organizations involved, it says, I read somewhere that it says you have to reach someone and to remind them, you have to post it or share with them 5 to 7 times. So yeah, maybe you got rejected the first time to ask an organization to the non-revenues due. dues, but maybe they'll want to just be a sponsor for a $500 something or something small. So it's always to start small and then go big. And even if you've asked them one year, there could be a change in leadership and they'll have someone else again. So the non-revenue dues is a big thing for us. We have our classes, and I think that we just need to promote our LMS to outside organization. That way we have them available, the CLP, the Confidence, the CWC Essentials. I know we have that, that's new. Then the newer classes that are coming, I think that we just need to promote those because a lot of people don't know that we have them, and that would be a great way as a revenue stream.
And Sue, what are your thoughts on non-dues revenue?
Yeah, I agree. We need to find ways to show people all the value we have. These classes, I'm so pleased and proud of the LMS and the new courses that we're offering, because those are more opportunities for us to reach out. So those companies that maybe went through the CLP, well, now there's an ACR designation that they can put their employees to. We're expanding and improving our benefit and our value to these companies, and hopefully that will keep them involved and continuing to sponsor, continuing to be partners, as well as having them be active and bringing in new members, which is, it's hopefully non-dues revenue will help to bring in new in members as well.
All right, we have another question here. We have very active Q&A today. That's awesome. What new initiatives, would you like to see our association start? Who would like to take that one first?
Let Sue take that one first.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That education is one of my passions. Figuring out more educational courses. I would love to be able to do something with life and health. That's kind of been an obstacle and a roadblock for us, because the life and health people say, well, we really don't need your courses. We have everything we need. So, but it would be great if we could round out our offerings in that regard. I mentioned before some member recruitment tools to help our members, and ways to promote to our members how to bring in new members. We've got a YouTube channel. I'd love to see more use of that, more people being aware of that, so that we can promote ourselves. Because I actually have our company has our own YouTube channel now, where we post all our articles and webinars and things, because that's one way of getting out there. But we're small, and as is IIP, so it's balancing the resources we have with all the things that we want to do. But those are two things that I think we could do without too much effort.
All right, Rachel?
Money was no object, as they put on the board when we were on the board. They asked us our big, hairy, audacious goals. If money was no object, I would like to have an app for IAIP. I think there's an app for everything. And I know that some people are against that. But I just think that it would be so nice to have the blogs. You could do like weekly blog, you could do the weekly posts. I just think it'd be really nice to have an app. I know how much we love the app when we're at convention. And yes, it is pricey and we're competitive people. I just think that would be another way for us as MALs, as people all over the country, to stay involved with IIP, is to have an app. Or I know we talked about it last year, doing little text services, texting out to people little things. I think that would be another way to communicate. That's my like, if money was no object, just staying up to date on technology for those things would be great initiatives to increase.
All right, and the last question we have here is, in your opinion, why should a retiree still belong?
I'll go. I love our retirees. I love them. I love the knowledge and the wealth of information that they provide us. I love that I can call, email, text away. I love that the people in Tennessee or, here in Florida, I love that they're only a phone call away for any information. We have educational opportunities. I like that we now have our community cafes that are available to them to be able to do. We have our special interest communities that's available. They have a very active special interest community. They're retirees. They do some great presentations. I loved working with them last year on the YNP event. That was fun to do. They're all over the country, and they're just a wealth of knowledge that I think that people need to embrace more of as our retirees.
All right, Sue?
Yeah, I agree. I just think that too often people say, oh, you're retired, you don't have to do anything anymore. Well, when you're retired, that gives you the time and to be able to put your efforts into things you're passionate about. Those are people who always complain, well, I can't be on a Zoom or I can't be on calls during the day because I'm working. Well, now that they're retired, they can take advantage of all these opportunities. And if we can continue to expand as we did with the community cafe and the SICs and maybe even the masterminds, bringing the retirees in and keeping them their interest in there. And the fellowship is just, these people are lifelong friends. If you've been in this association, people are looking forward to going to their conferences and going to conventions. And now with technology, you can have meetings on Zoom. So even if you can't get together, I mean, we're going to do that with our past regional officers in Region 1. We're going to have a Zoom for everybody because we can't all get to conference, but we want to see each other and catch up with each other. And without being a member any longer, well, you kind of lose that ability. And they have so much to offer. They have so much knowledge. As Rachel says, you call a retiree and say, what do you think about this? Or what did you do with this in the past? Or why didn't this work? Do you remember? And they're kind of our knowledge base and our memory.
All right, we've answered all of the questions in the Q&A. And we're gonna keep moving along here. So Vickie?
All right, ladies, like to give each one of our candidates, sorry, ladies to the candidates, to all of our attendees, I would like to give each one of the candidates one last chance to say anything that they would like to share with the members of IAIP. Sue, would you like to go first?
No, but I will. I'm very passionate about this organization, and you probably can tell. I think it's essential that we keep it growing. We've done so much, and we were in a very, very dark place a few years ago where we really weren't sure whether could continue. I think we've made leaps and bounds, and I want to continue to help us progress in that direction, helping to bring in new members to make them as enthusiastic about this association as Rachel and I both are, and also to keep our older members and our retirees and keep them involved and make them realize that they have a purpose and they have a value, and that we need their expertise and their knowledge, and want to keep them around.
Thank you. Rachel, anything
Just
you
like-
would like to say?
Yep. Just like Stu said, the passion for IAP is going through our veins for both of us and a lot of members. As far as retirees go, I aspire and, down the road, many, many years, I want to be a retiree in IAIP. I mean, I just look at them and they do so much for this organization and for our members. And so I have the passion for, as we said in the beginning, for the YNPs. That's my heart right there, because I was one of them, and obtaining and retaining members. And I'm only a phone call away, and I'm always there for you. So if you need me, I'm here for you. And as I had my RVP slogan, where membership is fun with IAIP, yes, there are serious times when we need to buckle down, but we can also have fun within this organization. So I hope that's why I'm running.
Thank you.
Well, I hope our Meet the Candidates session today has proven to give you insight and understanding to each of our candidates, and that you feel more informed about both Sue Quimby and Rachel Schubert. Again, this year, every member of the association will be able to cast a vote in the election of International Secretary. Move the slides forward here. So voting will actually begin on April the 10th. Wednesday, April the 10th, the ballot will be sent via email to all members in good standing. Will be open for a 2-week period. The staff on our management team and the tellers committee appointed by the president will confirm the results to ensure we met the minimum requirements of votes and that everyone who participated is an active member. The results will be announced on April 30th to the membership. If you have any questions about the election process, please reach out to myself, your RVP, or a member of the executive committee. And I could never, ever not talk about the convention. So if you haven't heard, we have a fantastic opportunity coming up for you. June 7th through the 9th is our 83rd annual convention in Scottsdale, Arizona. Registration is open, and we do encourage all of you to make plans to join us. Here, let me just pop the link to the convention site here in the chat box if you haven't already seen that. We hope to see all of you in June. And if we don't have any other questions, let me just stop sharing here. See everyone's faces one more time. I don't see any more questions in the Q&A. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to share? Okay, I think we did it. I look forward to seeing you all in June. Be on the lookout for the ballot April 10th. And as always, we'll see you at the next webinar next month. Thank you so much for joining us today. Bye, everyone.
Bye.